Evening. Welcome to the press conference for Jack Draper. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. Jack, disappointed for you. Just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, very frustrated. Obviously, really upset. Probably one of the toughest losses I feel. I thought Cilic played an incredible match from start to finish. Didn't let up, and yeah, he deserved the win. But it hurts a lot.
Simon.
Jack, hard lines. I mean, there are obviously times when you took the racket out of your hand a bit. Were there also times when you felt you could have done more?
Yeah, of course. I've been really disappointed with the way my game's been on the grass this year. In all honesty, I know I wasn't feeling too great at Queens. I kind of, I don't know how I made the semis there and gave myself a chance of making the final because, yeah, it highlighted to me this year that I really struggled on the grass. In all honesty, I felt great on the hard. I felt great on the clay. My game, I felt like there wasn't many holes. Whereas as soon as I came onto the grass, I felt a big difference. So it's just something that I've got to keep in mind how I'm going to develop my game for the long term for next year and just to get better as a player, because for sure highlighted a lot of weaknesses in my game, especially against a player the way he was playing today and someone who's as good as him on the grass.
Rob.
Jack, the British hope,
Yeah.
fourth seed, all this expectation, all this pressure, was that a contributing factor, do you think? All the extra media, all the attention you've had to have? I
mean, it makes me think that Andy's achievement of what he did, winning here twice, just unbelievable. Because, it's not the pressure, it's not the whatever. I just didn't play good enough today. I lost to a better player. I wasn't going out there thinking I'm under so much pressure. I don't know. Obviously, you guys mention it all the time, but it's just that I wasn't good enough today, and that's the main reason. I just was not able to find the level I wanted, and I came up short.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack. We know Wimbledon has replaced some of the human line judges with an AI system this year. It looked like you were challenging a couple of the calls. Could you talk us through what those complaints were?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's 100% accurate. In all honesty, a couple of the ones today, it showed like a mark on the court, or there's no way the chalk would have showed. But I mean, I guess it can't be 100% accurate. It's millimeters, so, and it's for both ways. I think it's a shame tradition that the umpires aren't involved, but it's obviously something that makes it easier for the players because we don't have to worry about line calls. So.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you feel you need to improve on to get to that next level? Is it specifically grass or just generally?
I think it's grass. In all honesty, I think my the holes in my forehand showed up for sure. I wasn't able to deal with his pace of ball into my forehand. I was overspinning a lot. I think a lot of my success this year with my forehand, when I have more time, it's a lot easier for me because I can create the speed and the spin that I want and the effectiveness of that. Obviously, movement could have been better. I think there's many areas in my game which I still really need to work on to be the player I want to be. I want to feel like everything in my game secure, and I think that's what you see with the top guys who they're so consistent all the time. It's because there's no holes in their game. And I think the last couple of weeks has been good for me to see that even though I've had such an amazing progression the last sort of 12 months, I've still got a lot of areas that I need to improve on my game. And in some ways that's exciting. In some ways that's hard to deal with because I thought I was ahead of where I was.
Charlie.
Wonders, Jack, it's obviously such a short season, grass. Like how you think you'd go about kind of changing that for next year?
I don't think I would. I tried my best to adjust to the courts. Maybe I could have played Stuttgart, but then I went fourth round in the French. So I just with the calendar the way it is, I would have just had no time to rest. I backed myself that in hindsight, maybe that was the right thing. But I backed myself that I was going to be able to find the tennis that I wanted to play and feel good on the courts and feel great. I just didn't, So maybe it's something to think about next year, but I think that relates more to the lessons that I can take this year to take into next year, and develop from a week from now, whenever I go back on court. You know, these are the areas that I need to improve on to be bulletproof in all areas on all courts. You know, I think I can take a lot of lessons from the last couple of weeks for sure. It's definitely shown me a lot, you know.
Eleanor?
Jack, as you say, the grass season is so short, but do you feel like in the future you can get there on grass?
No, I can, yeah, I can for sure. You know, I think there's a bit of a misconception, like, just because I'm a 6'4" lefty, like I must be incredible on grass. You know, I obviously won Stuttgart, but you know, I haven't had loads of experience on it. I don't think I've played incredibly well on it before. Obviously never gone past the second round here. Some players find it harder than others. I'm obviously very determined to change that and make it a surface that is gonna be great for me. I feel like that's the way with every surface. You know, when you have the mindset of, even though I don't feel comfortable, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it better for me. It usually works. That's what I did on the clay this year. It's just hard, yeah, to find that time, because we don't have a lot of time to play on grass throughout the year. So, like I said, I think what I do have in my power is the lessons that I can learn from this year, and I can try and take that onto the clay. You know, obviously on the grass you have to step up a lot more on the returns and all this sort of stuff. On the clay and on the hard, I stand back. I like to have time on the ball, whereas, you know, in these courts, so playing at something like that today, you can't. You have to meet the ball on the baseline.
Jack, just to push again on the AI, there was an incident in the fourth set where you walked towards the chair with your arms outstretched. It was from a Cilic serve. What did you say to the chair, and how certain were you that ball was out? And just secondly, there are still 3 British players left in this tournament. Will you be watching them on and cheering them on as they have a go at progressing tomorrow?
Yeah, first question. I mean, I thought the ball may have been wide. I mean, there was no chalk, but then on the Hawkeye, it showed there was only a margin. There was a mark that suggested it would have been wide, and I'd had one earlier on that was maybe a little bit off that I saw, but I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. And then in answer to the other question, yeah, of course, you know, we've still got British hope. Emma's playing great. I watched her play yesterday. That was amazing. She's got a real opportunity. I hope she goes on and does us all proud, and she's definitely got the capability to do that. Obviously, Cam, Sonne, these guys are going to be flying the flag now, and I think they're incredible players. They all want it so badly. You know, I know them all personally, and they're all great people, great players, and they deserve everything they're going to get. So I'm looking forward to definitely watching them play. Maybe I'll try and stay away from it, in all honesty, because yeah, it hurts badly, but yeah, I want them obviously to have amazing success. They deserve that for sure.
At the back there.
Jack, were you surprised by Marin's level? Obviously, he was in the finals, but that was 8 years ago, and had some injuries and didn't play a lot on top level. Few years. How did you see his level?
Yeah, in some ways. Well, actually, yes, I am. You know, I was away. He won Nottingham. I don't put it past him. You know, he's obviously been top 10 for many years. I watched him growing up, and he's always been someone who's, you know, just been the ultimate pro and can play incredible. I don't play many people on the tour that I feel like they completely bully me and take the racket out of my hand. I know it's a grass court, but I'm not sure what his stats were, but I'm sure he had an amazing match from the winners to unforced errors count. And like I said, he deserved to win. You know, he's a great player. Someone I have huge respect for what he's doing. Obviously, come back from injury, and he was the much better player than me today. So yeah, he deserved to win. And am I surprised by his level? Not really, because he's one of the great players. He's won a Grand Slam. He deserves it.
Okay, we'll take 2 more here and here.
Hi Jack, do you find that the first 2 sets went away in an hour and 20 minutes? So the pace of play was really fast. Do you find that once you lose those 2 sets that quickly, you sort of struggle potentially to find solutions because you don't have much time to find your rhythm going into the 3rd set? Obviously you won it, but you still have that pressure going forward.
Yeah, obviously you run out of time. The match is going so quick. The points are going by so quickly. He's serving great. He's returning great. I feel like every ball's on my feet on the returns. and then on the serves you're not really getting a look. A couple of loose points here and there, and it's you're looking at 6-4, 3-love, 4-1. You know, it's really difficult to deal with. I'm proud of the way I fought back and tried to find solutions. Obviously, it wasn't good enough in the end. But yeah, I can be proud of the way I turned it around. I felt like I kind of run out of time a little bit. You know, I was starting to play some good stuff. But yeah, obviously at this level on the grass, you know, the match can go very quickly if you're not quite finding what you need to find.
Last one.
Hi Jack. Your last 2 Grand Slam defeats to Cilic and Bublik, both players it felt like at times were playing 10 out of 10 tennis. Do you feel like there are still questions for you to solve in terms of like finding a way to disrupt these players who feel like they're absolutely redlining in the moment? And during this match today, were you thinking about that Bublik match in terms of just the level this guy was bringing to the court?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both of them played outstanding level. I've got to expect that now because obviously I've got a bit of a target on my back with my ranking, and he's obviously someone who wants to get back to where he used to be. I think, yeah, there's definitely areas of my game where I need to, you know, is he playing so well because I'm letting him play that way? Same with Bublik. Are they playing that well because I'm dropping the ball short? I'm not doing enough with the ball. You know, I know they've still got to execute, and I think both of them were having amazing days. But that's what good players do. They punish you. So yeah, I mean, I think in some ways it's a good thing. It highlighted a lot of areas in my game which I need to continue to improve on if I want to be, you know, consistently a top player and going deep in these slams, because everyone's a great player and you're going to come unstuck if you're not good enough.
Thank you very much.